Good morning. This is Martin at Willow Pharmacy, and today I want to tell you a story. I have a relative that just finished pharmacy technician school and was doing her internship at a big box chain pharmacy. She has come from a nursing home environment where the culture and the rules are totally different than at a retail environment. And she picks up the phone in the middle of her training and says, "Uncle Mark, I have questions about pharmacy." I'm like, "Okay, shoot." She's like, "Okay, pharmacies are gross." Okay, go ahead, explain or ask. She says, "Well, everybody eats at the counter." So I'm like, "Pharmacists don't get breaks. We work 12-hour shifts. If we don't eat at the counter, we don't eat. That's not uncommon." She's like, "No one washes their hands." I'm like, "When we wash our hands, it's not as religious of a practice as you'll get at a nursing home. We don't wash our hands after every patient encounter like they drill into you at the nursing home." She's like, "They pick pills up off the floor and dispense them." And I'm like, "Some pharmacies do that, but not mine." And if you walk into a pharmacy, I'm going to give you a little tip to know whether the pharmacy may or may not be picking the pills that they drop on the floor up off the floor and handing them to you. And the clue is right over here above my shoulder. It might be hard to see, but that is a bottle of pills that I have dropped on the floor over time, and I pick those pills up and I put them in the bottle. That's about 1.5 years worth of pills up there next to Hey Hey the chicken. That's last year's pills, and this is the new pill bottle. 3 or 4 months worth of dropped pills in here. Now, evidently I'm fairly clumsy, and I drop pills regularly. Everybody does. And if you own a pharmacy, you have to ask yourself the question, what do I do when I drop a pill on the floor? And it's really an important question, because these pills can cost a lot of money. It's okay if you drop something that costs 0.3 cents on the floor and you drop 8 or 9 of them. But what happens if you drop 30 pills that cost $8 each? $240 on the floor. I remember the first time I did that, it was Zantac back in 1993, when Zantac was still a brand name, and you take Zantac 150 twice a day, and they were, $3 or $4 a pill, and it was a 60 count bottle of Zantac. $180 all over the floor. I was working for a big chain at the time, and I'm standing there in the middle of this drop pills, and my mentor / other pharmacist said, "Oh, pick those up and hand them out." Later on, I ran into another pharmacist who's a slightly better mentor, and he told me that when you drop a pill on the floor, you throw it away. As time evolved, or you put it in your drop pill bottle, because as time went on, it began to ask the question, what do you do with this pill? Do you throw it away in the trash for somebody to find and dig out of the trash can and potentially harm themselves with a pill that they don't know what it is or what it does? Do you flush it down the toilet and potentially contaminate our water supply? Do you hand it back to the patient? Or you simply quarantine it and then destroy it? So that's my choice. I simply quarantine my pills and I destroy them. And it's a subtle clue that I've thought through many steps in my pharmacy. And I've asked, what type of pharmacist do I want to be? I've even, have to segregate to a second bottle, which is this one right here. These are the narcotics that I drop. When I drop a narcotic, it involves a lot more paperwork. I have to account for every narcotic that comes into my pharmacy and goes out of my pharmacy. And, so I've developed a policy and procedure that when I drop a narcotic on the floor, that I have to quarantine that in a separate bottle, because these have to be destroyed and witnessed in a particular certain manner. And so it all goes back to, protecting my patients, protecting my public, and the public that comes into my pharmacy, and trying to do the right thing and doing the ethical thing, even if it costs me money. If I, destroy inventory by dropping it on the floor, then, that's my problem. I need to be less clumsy. So just a subtle tip when you go into a pharmacy, if you see that bottle of pills prominently displayed, that's not a decoration. That's a very subtle way of letting you know that that pharmacist, that pharmacy has thought through its policies and procedures about what to do when a pharmacist drops a pill on the ground. It's not something they teach you at school. It's something that each pharmacy and pharmacist decides for themselves. It's not law. And if you see that up there, then you know that the pharmacy you're in has thought through that and is not giving you pills back. Now, that doesn't mean that it's because you don't see that and that a pharmacy is giving you pills they've dropped on the floor. But it does beg the question, if you don't see that, what do they do? I'm Martin at Willow Pharmacy. If you like this, like and subscribe or comment, give me some feedback. And as always, if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out and contact me here. You guys have a great day. Thanks for listening.